like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all joining us for this episode of the show. Much love to the fam. We up in this thing, Saturday Saints Talk. Shout out to the fam, man. I appreciate you, man, chiming in on this episode. We're going to break down and talk about the black and gold, kind of preview the Detroit Lions matchup, man, we got going on. We go over the Saints, I guess we would say the final Friday injury report. And we'll go into it, man, and figure out this thing together. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the building. T Dirty, what's happening, brother? Appreciate you being in this thing. Ken, you too. You shout out to you, brother. Josh was in this thing. Good to see you. OG Jerry is in the building. Shout out to you, OG, and the rest of the fam. Josh said, let's be honest. If we're starting with Carr and this non-existent offense and this slow starting defense, we will be in for a long day. Well, Josh, I hate to disagree with you, my brother, but see, Carr said, the Carfax came out and it said that the New Orleans Saints have been having some fantastic magical practices, and we'll see how that translates. Magical practices, always with these. Oh, we had a terrific practice. We had a wonderful practice. All these mythical, fabled, fantastic practices that people are having, but it never seems to translate on the field. It's always discommunication. It's always this guy not going where he's supposed to be. It's always the guy staring down. Receivers is always he don't go through his progression. But all this magical practices, I would love to see some of that magic on the field of play. What's up, brother Barry? How you doing? Brian's Flat Power God, shout out to you. Dave, how you doing, sir? DeWine, shout out to you. 504. Brother Kevin is in this thing. What's up, Tasha, baby? Much love to the queens in there. Brother Robert, how you doing, sir? Infamous is in this thing. Derek, oh, it ain't my fault. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Infamous. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Derek Carr. Derek, oh, it ain't my fault, Carr. Yes, indeed. That is exactly what it is. King Chosen one, shout out to you. Yeah, all these magical practices, man. Magical practices, bro. I'd love to see those magical practices actually mean something on the field of play. All right, fam. So let's delve into some of this stuff, man, as we get through this matchup. 4 New Orleans Saints players listed out for Friday's matchup. Cam is questionable. Didn't practice the entire week. He has a questionable designation with that ankle issue. If Cam can't go, then, they're looking at other people. Perhaps the new Passenger has to step in that thing. We got several other players that might have to factor in. There's nothing on Peyton Turner. He's still listed on the IR. So a lot of people's like, Q, where with Cam out, where the hell is Peyton Turner? And that's a great question, and that's almost like looking for, where's Waldo or where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Y'all remember that one? Yeah. That's what it is. So, I mean, he's somewhere with Carmen Sandiego, and where's Waldo? We trying to figure out where exactly is Peyton Turner. And really, you don't have to look too far because I can show you where he is. There he is right there. He's right here on the IR. He's on IR still. So I mean, in the end, man, it is what it is. The Saints gonna have to delve deep and find a way, man, to get the W against the Detroit Lions. I'm not really optimistic about it, as we talked about in the previous stream that I had to do. Where I had to put on an Atlanta Falcon jersey or a shirt after Derek Carr and the Saints let us down. And he's standing up there smiling, and congratulations to guys that's pick six of them during the center of the game. But yet and still, I'm sitting up here totally humiliated because of what he did, but he got the nerve to smile. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on over there. Brother Brent, how you doing, sir? Says, good morning, who that fam in the Redwood Forest. Okay, from the Redwood Forests of California. Shout out to you. Even the owls here say, who. Yes. And they eat possums and rats. Think about that. Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
All right, shout out to you, Bridget.
Say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out to you, brother Brent. Josh says, Q, are we really even hurt by Cam not playing? We all love Jordan, but he's not who he used to be. Wow. Yeah. By the way, where's Turner? Yeah, I just showed you, bro. He's on the injury list. He's still not ready to come back. I don't know if I don't know. I'm not going to say he's not going to be back, but damn, I mean, it would be almost work. Yeah, Davenport. Well, that goes to show you that thoughts are things. You remember what happened with Davenport when they drafted Peyton Turner? They wasn't drafting the next Cam Jordan. Actually, what they did with Cam Jordan drafting, they did that this year with Isaiah Foskey. Because the question was, why are we drafting players like Davenport's, and the Davenport's type we're picking up are not what we're looking for? They're looking at these freakish defensive ends that are 6'5", 6'6", but don't stay healthy. This is what we drafted for. Like I said, if you want a particular player, if you want a Drew Brees type or a Cam Jordan type, draft that type of player because they're out there. Those guys out there, you might have to do a little work to find them, but they're out there. But the Saints purposely draft Peyton Turner because he reminded them of Marcus Davenport. Peyton said that. So I was like, so my question then was, why the hell are you sitting your ass up there drafting these players that are hurt, that's not consistent, that's not bringing us anything? So that's just what it is, man. But shout out to you, Josh, for the question, man. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to draft for players that are not consistently there, right? And and then in retrospect, people will say, well, Q, the Hendrickson thing, because I had somebody DM me and say, Q, they really dropped the ball on Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson's move. And for Davenport, I said, no, you can't look at it like that because Trey Hendrickson was hurt, never gave you a full season until his last year. And it just happens to be a contract year. So they were like, his replacement was already there. They gave Trey Hendrickson an opportunity. Trey showed flashes, but could not stay healthy. He got healthy in the last year. And by that time, Davenport was already in the pocket and they were already looking past Trey Hendrickson. So it's and I got the gift to kind of remember the history, how things ferret out. Because some people say, man, they really dropped the ball on that. If you look at what he's doing with Cincinnati right now, yes, but he didn't exhibit none of that stuff with the Saints when he was here up until that last year when he balled out. And by that time, they already decided who the replacement was. He could have had 100 sacks that year. Saints they wasn't going to stick with him. They already had the guy in there. But Davenport is a bust for the Saints. Peyton Turner is following Davenport's path, which is not a good thing. Hopefully, Isaiah Foskey doesn't follow that path as well. So, shout out to the fam, man. Foul Code says, Q, what exactly is Mike T's knee injury, MCL sprain? I don't have to look into it, bro. I know that they're anticipating him being out for the next 4 weeks. And then, of course, our wide receivers are all banged up, but we're going to get into it, bro. We're going to cover it more. Yeah, there you go, brother Don. Shout out to you. Like Kakaha. Remember Kakaha? But see, Kakaha his skill set was put his hand in the dirt and just go get the quarterback. When they brought him in, because he led college that year, Kakaha, who had multiple knee injuries, when the Saints brought him in, he was a second-round draft pick out of the University of Washington, I want to say, if my memory serves correct. And his gift was putting his finger in the grass and going his hand in the grass and going and get the quarterback. The Saints changed that up. They didn't have him rushing the quarterback like that. They dropped him into coverage, which is not his strong suit. which was totally ridiculous. So I'm like, if you got to have a vision for what you're going to do with these players, man. And they had a Kakaha, and they could, if he could have had success if you utilize him properly. That's like with Zach Bowen. Zach Bowen looks like what he looks like, inconsistent because they're not playing him to his strength. You got to pick these players. Like they often talk about, well, we get these players and we got to put the players in the best chance to win. This Pete Carmichael said the other day. We got to give our players an opportunity or put them in positions to have to get have positive results or have positive opportunities to produce positive results, whatever the case may be. But if you look at the guys that they brought, like a Zach Bowen, they're not using him to his true benefit. They're not. And then some of these other guys they drafted on potential, and you really, some guys you can look at it and see that they have it, and some of these other guys, man, they be really reaching on it. Like the Stanley Jean-Baptiste move was ridiculous. They were talking about he could be Richard Sherman, and he was none of that. He was none of that. They were totally reaching on some of these guys. Stephon Anthony had talent if they would have utilized him the way he was designed to be utilized in the defense. That first year, he tied or either broke Ricky Jackson's rookie tackle record. That's a big feat. Ricky Jackson's a Hall of Famer, and Stephon Anthony actually did that. And then the next year he falls apart. Oh, Stephon garbage. No, you don't go from class to ass in one. Jesus, it don't work like that. You don't go from that to that unless something radically changed concept and everything within the building, which it did. So I mean, you got to utilize it, man, and do what you're supposed to do. What's up, brother Joe? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. Yeah, he says not a covered. Yeah, exactly, Josh. You got to know these guys. You got to make sure you pick up the guys and make sure they do what they're supposed to do in your system. So, I mean, it is what it is, fam. So let's keep it moving here. Let's get on over that. All right. What's up, T Mama? How you doing, Queen? She says, good morning, Q. Seeing you in that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Listen, it was. And see, family, that should show you something. Here's like, I'm vested, right? And for me to bet low, because the Saints had enough to win that game last week. They should have won that Atlanta game. They had it. They had it in possession, and then just flittered the damn thing away. They just dropped the ball literally and figuratively. You had a guy out there that what really incensed me was the fact that Carr gets up there with this happy-go-lucky mentality and talking about him congratulating the guy that pick sixed them in the center of the game. Then he goes into the spiel about, yeah, we, such and such. We have break. Man, shut up with that, bro. Shut up. I don't want to hear it, man. I bet this man that the Saints would win the game. And then as a result, I had to put on a Falcon jersey. And they asking us, Mickey Loomis and Carr saying, support us. Well, I'm not supporting you. You have to show, you have to prove to us that you're worthy of support. We're not just going to throw our resources away to a team that don't even understand. How is Mickey Loomis sitting up here talking about, really? Hold on, IQ. I heard you call my name. I ain't, hold on. I'm here. I'm not going to let you say that. I know it's a lot of bad stuff going on right now. Fiddly sticks. We can't deal with any of that. We have to keep it positive. I know there's a lot of negative nannies out there, negative nannies, that's negative noise. And negative noise is quantified or classified by Mickey Loomis as disagreement to what's going on in the building with the Saints. That's negative noise. That's not negative noise when people are telling you they're looking at something, they're looking at it as a collective. They're looking at the Saints and they're saying, bro, this team's supposed to be better than 5-6. Bro, this quarterback here is not doing what he's supposed to do. This offense is not doing what it's supposed to do. The Saints defense is having slippage because the offense is not carrying its weight. The offensive line is disjointed constantly. If you watch the film, and I've done it more than I could bear, I sit here and watch the film with offensive linemen for the Saints. Don't matter who they are, whether it's Hurst, whether it's McCoy, it don't matter who they are, constantly either shedding blocks too late. It's just ridiculous, man. It's a comedy of errors. They don't play with the same ferocity of continuity that you would want an offensive lineman to, with a line to play with, but yet you see other guys doing it, running around doing the stuff. You get what I'm saying? Other lines like the Minnesota line doing it to the Atlanta Falcons line doing it to them. Everybody could play in harmony except for the Saints consistently. And that says Listen, if this is something that's been happening throughout the season. You only have 6 games left in the season. So there has been no changes the entire season, no changes except for what the injuries have forced them to do. And that's they gotta change that. But in terms of the coaching staff, the same guys that started the year with their jobs and they sucking like Doug Marrone and that offensive line is sucking. Maybe Jari Evans should have been given an opportunity to participate. And then you have what's going on at the quarterback position. Pete Carmichael should have been changed for Curry just for a game or two, just to see what it looks like. It should have been done just to see what Curry could do. Maybe he can do something with Carr that Carmichael can't do. It could be something as simple as that. No changes, even though they know changes are supposed to happen. The dude, Dennis Allen, said several times this year that what changes is going to happen. When are the changes? The changes are not going to happen until they change him out with Mickey Loomis. I'm telling you. That's what's coming because 6 games left to go in the game. You can't sit up here and play blind ball and want to sit up here and stick to what it is. Family, it's this. He sees it, and I'm a break game down, and we gonna get some game. Can we talk for a second? Could we talk? Who that nation? Could we have a serious dialogue here? What's really going on here? Could we talk about how it's really all about the money? The New Orleans Saints people put out a new ad in there on their website about what the new something rather in the Superdome. They just revealed some new phase or whatever with the Superdome. You dig what I'm saying? They'll show that. They'll show that like, okay, we got this new stuff and we got a new nice areas of the Superdome where we have concessions where you can come buy our high ass nachos and our high hot dogs and everything, and concession food just ridiculously overcost. So is the merch, but it is what it is. So they show that to you, but they show the changes in the dome that's afforded by you that you pay for, but they don't change the team. It's economics. Loomis doesn't want to touch that Dennis Allen contract. I'm telling y'all, they didn't disclose it for a reason. It's not an average contract. It's beyond average. And I guarantee you it's more money than what Dennis Allen is supposed to be being paid. And I'm telling you, if you ever find out what it is, you would run him up out of here. How dare you give this guy? I'm telling you what it is. It's economics. Loomis is not going to cut Dennis Allen loose. He's going to spin it as long as he can to keep him in there, because that contract for you to cut and fire this guy and then hire another guy, that's expensive because you got to settle with him to get him up out of here. And then you got to hire another guy to come in to do the work. They don't want to do that. They don't want to change all that stuff around. That was the mentality previous. They hadn't. And see, when you have a plan, they talk about business and all this kind of stuff. But what is the exit strategy? What is the alternative plan? You don't just make one plan. Dennis Allen is going to take us to the finals. Or he's going to take us to the championship. We're going to go on. How? What is it? What if Dennis Allen fails? What if he's not the coach that you thought he was? Then what's the plan then, as opposed to keep lying about him doing this and we got the right people in the building? I don't care what you believe. I'm looking at the record. The record is 5-6, and the Saints just coming off of a humiliating garbage time loss to an Atlanta team that they should have beat. They're on a 2-game slide facing a very difficult Detroit team coming in here who's pissed off that they lost during Thanksgiving. You think they're going to lay down to you? They could very well be facing 3-game losing streak by Sunday afternoon. So I don't care what you believe. I'm looking at the results of the 5-6. And when you start talking like that, now Q, that's negative noise. See what you just did, that right there? That right there? Listen, that's a bunch of fiddly sticks. That's right there. That'll make my clam chowder sour. That'll make my clam chowder sour. What you just said, that is negative noise. It's not negative noise, Mickey, or Saints brass. It's not when the people who support the team are telling you that this team is not where it's supposed to be. Don't sit up here and try to con them by telling them that, oh, listen, we got the right people in the building. I don't care what you think. It is not translating on the field. Dennis Allen is not good at being a head coach. He's not. He's not good at that, man. That is not his strong suit. And we talk about strong suits and putting people in positions to win. They tried that with Dennis Allen. They gave him Sean Payton's top offensive acolyte, and they gave him a very talented defense. And where are we? 5-6? I mean, it's not working, man. You cannot schmooze away or con away what I'm talking about. I'm talking 1,000% facts. about this team? Who cares about what you believe if you got the right people in the building? This team is underperforming. They're not on the same page. You hear Kamara talking about we don't have an offensive identity, and then Pete Carmichael getting up there talking about we do have an offensive identity. Man, what this is total. This is a joke. And then they can't even get their story straight inside the building. Could y'all talk to each other and let them know, hey, Carmichael, could you tell Kamara that you got an offensive strategy? And Kamara is a straight shooter. He's not going to BS. He's not going to sit around and BS nobody. Kamara don't have to do that. He's going to tell you the truth. That's one thing I do respect about Alvin Kamara. He's a straight shooter. He's going to tell you, listen, man, we don't have an offensive identity. And it's frustrating because there's a lot of talky. And I'm tired too. I'm tired of hearing about the talk. How about some performance on the field consistently? How about some touchdowns in the red zones? How about that? Could we have that? You know, instead of, oh, we had some terrific practices, man. Y'all should have seen it. We had a fantastic knockdown, drag out practice. My goodness, it was one for the record books. We had a fantastic Hall of Fame practice. And then let's see how they had a Hall of Fame practice. We always hear this. Carr said that in his last interview. Oh, we had a great practice. But why doesn't it translate then if you have all these great practices the Saints are exhibiting and you don't see none of it in the game? So either one or two things are happening here. Either Derek Carr is out of his mind. He done took too many shots to his head. Or two, they're a bunch of practice warriors. They're a bunch of practice Hall of Famers. That is just stays to the practice field. It doesn't translate. It's always some type of miscommunication between the quarterback and the wide receivers. Always all some disjointed mess with the offensive line. Guys pulling the block on screens and missing the guys they're supposed to block. I mean, how? What's going on here? So, like I said, man, it's crazy. Brent says Childers is made out west. You about to cook up some possum, rat infused, confused chowder and send to Mickey. Look now, Big Q now. Come on, man. Come on.
Bro. Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Oh, man. Hall of Fame practices, family. We getting somewhere now. Thank you, Brent.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right, appreciate you, bro. Hindi and Newt says, Q, do you think they're just trying to copy and paste Sean's philosophy and blaming the players because it worked for Sean? Well, see, a part of the philosophy is, that's what I was saying, it's the intangible stuff that you got to have as a head coach. So one thing Sean Payton did have is discipline. That's one of his major sticking points that he got from Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells always preached, no matter what you knew or what you know, it won't stick unless you have the discipline to make it stick, to make it work. And you have to constantly be there. You have to be thorough with it. And that's how success is built. You have to have discipline to keep doing the right things and taking out the things that don't work. This is not what's going on here. So you have Sean Payton's system there, but the intangibles to operate and run it are not there. There is no leadership there. There is no continuity there. There is no alpha dog in there to force it through. There's no decisions that need to be made. If guys are not doing what they're supposed to do, Payton would take them out of there. He would take you out of there, or you would get in this doghouse. There's none of that going on. Dennis Allen runs a very loose ship. It's littered with holes. He's doing nothing to plug those holes, and he just placates and make excuses. He's blind. He's over his head. And he know that there are several other people that deserve the Saints job. That's not him. He was given to it because it's the good old boy clique. But see, outside of that, he'll pay for that because he doesn't have the, and see, the thing is, he's so blind to it all, such a coward, and doesn't make the necessary moves to change everything. It's all within his power. He has the power to change the offense. He has the power to move people around in there and see what it looks like. He has the power to do that, but he simply lies and say that he's going to do it, but never does it. Why does he lie and say he's going to do it and never does it? Because he's not a coach. Mickey Loomis knows he's not a coach, but Mickey is bought into him. Mickey Loomis is bought to Dennis Allen, just like Dennis Allen's bought into Derek Carr, to acknowledge the fact that Dennis Allen is not who he thought he was. For him to recognize Carr is not who he thought they was, would mean that he would go down with them. So he's going to stand up as long as he can because he's connected to these people. That's how it goes. How could you be so wrong on Dennis Allen? How could you be so wrong? But see, this is also stubbornness because the faithful are telling him, listen, bro, this dude needs to be gone. He's not performing. And he'll sit up here and call what you saying is truth, which is 100,000% truth. You can't disparage or kick out Dennis Allen's record as a head coach. You can't kick out the inactivity that the Saints offense had, and it had all of its people. You can't blame the injury monster on that the first 9 to 10 weeks. You can't blame the damn injury monster. Oh, we had injuries, Q. That's why we couldn't realize our offense. We had missed. No. You had all of those guys, and offense still stunk. Now that they're starting to get banged up, you're in even dire straits. Now they're gonna come out, well, toward the back end of the end, and we have injuries. Just remember all of this stuff, people, and don't let them spin this at the end of the year or right 2 or 3 months, about a month after the year over with, because he'll disappear and run from you because you're mad. So he'll disappear and run from you. They did that last year, and I told you they was going to do that. That don't show leadership. I don't care if it's good. If you can stand up there when it's good, you stand up there when it's bad too. They don't show they do not exhibit the same type of energy, and that's really off code behavior. That's real suspect energy for them to want to pop up there and show you and smile in your face when the team winning, but when they're not winning and they stink and they won't hide from where. And I didn't pop up here because I was upset. Okay, Mickey, I get you was upset. We were upset, but did you do anything while you were upset? Oh no, I wasn't upset enough to make a change. Of course not. No, so didn't shut up. Shut your ass up. You didn't do it then. Shut up. All right. So anyway, man, let's keep this moving, man. Let's finish up this injury thing because it's just a bunch of BS, man. All right, Marcus May, the safety, he's out. Kendre Miller is out with the ankle issue. Rashid Shaheed is out. Pete Werner is out. That's his first time missing the game all season long. Blake Grupe is questionable with the groin issue. McCoy is questionable. Chris Olave is questionable. Now they saying that he looked like he cleared because he was limited, and then he fully practiced Friday, which means Chris Olave will play. But Rashid Shaheed won't. So Michael Thomas is out. Rashid Shaheed is out. We'll get a Chris Olave, that clear concussion protocol. More than likely, you'll see Lynn Bowden Jr., you'll see Keith Kirkwood, you'll see A.T. Perry. You'll see some of these guys step in and try to keep the Saints offense going. Ryan Ramczyk is good to go. Andrews Pete had a shoulder issue. He's operating as well. From the other side, the Detroit side of things, Alex Anzalone is doubtful for the matchup. Questionable is Big Jonah Jackson, the offensive lineman. David Montgomery is good to go. The DB Walker and Melifonwu is also good to go. They fully practiced. Ragnow, I thought he wasn't going to play, but he fully practiced, so he'll be going good to go. And Hendon Hooker, of course, is a healthy scratch. He's out with Teddy Bridgewater being the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions, that is. So anyway, let's take a look at the rest of the stuff as we keep going, family, into the broadcast. And like I said, people are asking about Peyton Turner. Peyton Turner is going to be out. So, all right, here we go, man. It's raining bad outside. All right, so anyway, let's get into this article right here. Jimmy Graham rests every Wednesday, even after not playing. Dennis Allen has an answer. So shout out to Anola.com. They wrote a pretty interesting article, man, about Jimmy Graham and why is Jimmy Graham always out. He's 37 years old, a healthy scratch most of the games. Last game they could have used Jimmy Graham, he was a healthy scratch. This just ties to lack of imagination because Jimmy Graham is not hurt. Jimmy Graham actually wants to play, and people have been asking Dennis Allen about this. Why won't they play him and all this kind of stuff? And he's taking it like a champ. He don't have to play, even though he came back to play. You got guys banged up. Michael Thomas was out. You got to get Jimmy Graham in there. He helps in the red zone. Jimmy Graham is 6'6", 6'7". He catches that. But yet the Saints don't have the imagination to utilize him to put him in the game. It boggles my mind how these people are just over their head. Simple stuff like this, they don't even get. Simple stuff like this. How do you not get that Jimmy Graham could help you in the red zone? That's what he does. How could you not get that? Strange arrangement the Saints have with Jimmy Graham. One takes place every week, even as the inactives piled up over the last month for the 37-year-old Graham. Each Wednesday, Graham has a rest day from practice. He's been listed with a designation. He's been inactive for 4 straight games. That inactive streak, however, may come to an end because the people keep asking the same question, and they're right. This is not negative noise, Mickey Loomis. People are giving you the game. Some of these people you would have to change. A guy would charge you, an analyst or a consultant would charge you real money to tell you the stuff that they're telling you free if you just only open up your ears and listen. But see, the problem is with people like that, those dinosaurs, they don't want to listen. They like it where they like it, and then it's going to end up bad for you. I'm just keeping it real with you. You're going to end up getting fired just along with the stink coach that you got. You think Gail just going to sit up there and keep watching all of? She hear all of what the people saying, man. I guarantee you, Gail hit listening to all of it, but she gonna step to it over these next 6 games. Y'all gonna see what time it is. Watch what you gonna see. They can't not afford. It's a monetary it's a monetary issue here. The money, if the money is funny, things gonna change. They're not gonna stand next to no player or coach if the money is funny for the team. They won't do it. Nobody's that important. I'm just gonna keep it real. When they look at the books and see that people are getting rid of their tickets, they're not buying the merch, they're not coming down to the dome to buy the expensive nachos, things will change. Then they'll understand, hey, man, they upset with this coach. Why? Because Dennis Allen is not producing wins for the Saints. I doubt that they'll win no more than 2 games. And I doubt it because they're not even at the stage of development where they can recognize the things that are wrong. They are not even there. They don't even have the common sense to change a few things just to see how it looks. Just to look, and they won't change it because you saying to change it. That's fine. You're gonna get changed out, period. Because they're not telling you nothing wrong. The who that's and the diehards are not telling you anything wrong. The great Saint think tank wants you to succeed. This game is for free, but only a fool pays for something that they can get for free. And these people are as foolish as I can see. Coach Dennis Allen floated the possibility early this week that Graham could be used for Sunday's game against the Lions as the Saints search for a solution to their red zone woes. The Saints also could use Graham as a pass catcher. Good grief, particularly if wide receiver Chris Olave can't clear concussion protocol in time. Regardless if he does, which he did, then you still need Graham in there. I think there's a potential we can see him, said Allen. We'll see when asked if Graham's status will be dependent on what happens with Olave. Please. But seriously, why does Graham continue to get rest days even if he plays? Allen had an explanation. I think when you've gotten an older veteran player like that, we kind of knew that coming in. We signed him. That kind of been the routine he's been through in the last several years. Nobody, no, it didn't. So we've been kind of just been able to stick to that routine a little bit. Stick to a routine where you have Jimmy Graham here and he has a healthy scratch. Jimmy Graham's not hurt. Jimmy Graham is a healthy scratch every damn week. I don't understand, bro. The man can, even you talking about playing him, he's not starting for you. Jimmy Graham will get what, 10 to 15 reps per game? I think his 37-year-old body can handle that, man. We got guys that like DeMario Davis and Cam Jordan, those guys running around there. You talking about Jimmy Graham. You act like he's frail. You act like Jimmy Graham is composed of paper mache. Oh, if we can't put him in there, somebody might hit him. And you know he kind of fragile at 37 years old. You know, his arm might fall off if they hit him. No, this is foolishness, man. This is just non-creative, non-imagination to get guys involved. That lets me know that these people are not serious about winning if Jimmy Graham's not playing and you need help in the red zone and he's a red zone force. He can help you in the red zone. That signifies to me that you are not serious about winning, or at least serious about finding the issues that need to be happening, because you got to face down this stuff. And I said 2 wins out of the 6 games because they are not even close to figuring out what's wrong with this team. They're not close and not serious. That's the worst part. They're not serious when all of them are talking like this from Mickey Loomis on down. We got the right people in the building. He needs to go have a discussion with Dennis Allen and tell him change some stuff in that offense. Let's just start with that. But we are not even there, man. And there's 6 games in. When do we get serious? You know, it's a sad day, man. Yeah, T Mama says he will again be healthy scratch Q. Yeah, we'll see, because they're saying it's a possibility. You the head coach. You say, hey, bro, listen, Jimmy Graham will play because we need him. Regardless if Chris Olave is healthy or not, we still need him. If you got to deactivate somebody, deactivate that fullback. Get that damn fullback out of here. He ain't doing shit. That fullback ain't doing nothing. If you need a slot, deactivate the fullback. Get him out of there. He's missing blocks and shit anyway. He ain't doing nothing. Damn fullback. He ain't doing nothing. Hey, come on now. Y'all know it. The fullback, if you need a spot, if you find, well, Q, who are we going to deactivate so that we can give Jimmy Graham the damn fullback? That's easy. Deactivate that damn fullback. He ain't doing nothing. Damn fullback out of here. You know, All right, Brent, thank you, bro. Says if we beat the Lions with injuries, why then are we 5-6? If we win or lose, it's still a win. If we lose out rest of the season, it's a win. It's a win out for the Who Dat Nation. Yeah, if they lose the rest of the season, it's a win because there's more pressure to run Dennis Allen up out of here. The question was proposed and sent to me in my DMs like, yo, Q, you think Dennis I think Dennis Allen's going after this year, fam. And I really do. I think Dennis Allen doesn't, because you got 6 games left. They're not even close to figuring out what this is. And Dennis Allen won't make moves until the moves don't matter no more. Like 2 games before the end of the regular season over, then he's going to try to change some stuff. It's too late. Then this is what kind of dude you're working with right here. Just sit up there and keep looking straight. They're like, do what you're looking at. Don't you have an imagination to understand that this is not working? You got to go through 6 more games or 4 more games. From like, well, we're going to have to make a change. Where is the line? I asked that the other show. Where is the line where we cut off from Carr if it's not working? Where's the line at? Okay, we've been patient up to this point. You are not producing touchdowns as our leading quarterback. We're not winning games with you. We need to do something different. So listen, we're going to give you an opportunity. This game right here. If you don't get us in the red zone, we don't score, we don't win the game, I'm gonna have to go to a QB change. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to do it because I gotta cut it off at some point. I can't let your bad play drag the team down. Maybe you'll get a different perspective from the sideline, and then maybe later on, things change. We might move you back in there. For right now, I don't like how the team is not responding to you. Not your fault now, guy. It's not your fault. But listen, we're gonna just kind of go. How the people do, the bosses at the job. If you have a problem, say here. Listen. You've been doing our squad right now. They kind of struggling a little bit, and our production, the sales are down. So listen, no, that's not a problem. It's not an indication on you. We're gonna go with Johnny over there. We're gonna put Johnny in there, and listen, we appreciate what you've done, Derek, but Johnny's a little different. We're gonna try a different approach. Now, granted, it's not your fault now, but we're gonna try a different approach. And then, it might be a time for you to kind of move back in there and kind of, step in there. And maybe, maybe not, maybe down the line, we'll get something like that going. But right now, we're going to give him an opportunity to step in. Okay, guy? All right. Thank you. All right. Have a nice day. Something like that. It got to be a line where we said, listen, this is the last game. If you show us something, we're going to have to put Jameis in. I'm sorry, bro. We were running out of games. We cannot afford to not score touchdowns in the red zone, bro. We can't do that. We're going to have to do something different. So if you don't change the game in this game, then we're going to have to consider a quarterback change, okay? Just letting you know, so maybe you prepare different, or, maybe that put some sense of urgency in your game, kind of make you see things different, perhaps. We're going to have to go like that, All right, guy? All right, have a nice one. Something like that. So do it real nice, like, very do it like that. Okay, guy. All right. Yeah, something like that. But where's the cutoff point if the offense keeps suffering under Derek Carr's leadership? Where's the cutoff point? This can't be the result. It's like we keep riding with Derek Carr till he drives the car into the volcano. We can't do that. At some point, we got to change the game. At some point, we got to move around and do something different. We can't run it all the way. That's what I'm saying. Where's the plan B if Carr fails and he's funky and he doesn't move the offense? Where's the plan B? When do we go to the backup quarterback to spark the offense if we can't get where's the plan B at? There is no plan B. The plan B is to fool the con you into accepting the coach, the quarterback, and the general manager stands on top of the team, because a good general manager will say, hey, listen, I understand the frustration, man. Listen, we're not doing what you're supposed to do. And I promise you guys that we're going to make some changes. We will figure this out. That's what I want to hear from some Loomis. I don't want to hear, well, there's a lot of negative noise out there. Negative noise out there telling the truth about how the team looks. But listen, there's a lot of negative noise out there, and you guys are a bunch of negative nannies. But listen, keep bringing us your damn money. I mean, your good money. Yeah. Keep bringing that to us, and keep supporting us. Listen, that's good. Just keep on bringing us your money. Shut the hell up. Be silent as you give us the money. And listen, you guys just, keep filling up the Superdome. Keep doing what you guys are supposed to do. And, listen, we appreciate it. Listen, my bank account the team appreciates what's going on. And see, that's what they want to hear. That's negative noise. So not allowing them to bank out and keep making money over a period of time where they have a disastrous bullcrap product out there. This is what we're supposed to do. Simply allow them to keep doing this stuff and just sit up here stupidly while they run the team into the ground. And then at the end of the year, what they're going to do is deflect. They're going to go into disaster mode and start deflecting to injuries, deflecting to the fact that, well, it's just Derek Carr and Dennis Allen's first year. Let's give them, years. Usually quarterbacks and coaches don't get on the same page to the second year. So you guys are going to have to be a little patient. I understand your frustration. You know what I'm saying? I looked at my bank account the other day and it was a couple of dollars short. I was frustrated, so listen, but that's all right. I'm rich. We're going to be all right. Keep going. That keeps me in the best clam chowder I can buy. That type of stuff. We're not going for that, man. We're not going for that. Thank you, bro. We're not going for that. We're not doing that. So shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you, man, for that, man. Much love, bro.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out to Carl. He says we getting dog walk Sunday blow 42-16, bro. It's not going to be a pretty sight in the it's just not cool, man. It's like I said, I'm talking real, man. That's all I can do. That's all I've ever done is talk real and keep it real about the Saints. I don't sound like a reporter. I'm not a reporter, even though I'm reporting. You dig what I'm saying? I have no allegiances to the Saints. My only allegiance is to the truth, to the Who Dat Nation, to tell it like it is. That's what I do. And I've been doing that for years. That's why people got love and respect the Sports Coma, because the Sports Coma tell it like it is. We don't placate to anything. We don't placate to none of these people. We tell the truth. We call out the people when they asking softball questions, and we give love to the ones that keep it real, that ask the real questions that people want to know. So, I mean, that's all we could ever do here. And I'm telling you, I'm a diehard man. I had to put on Falcon colors the other day because I lost a bet for the Saints sorry ass that was supposed to beat the Atlanta Falcons. And I get a quarterback standing up there smiling, making excuses and refusing to take accountability. You can imagine if you bet some Atlanta person, you lost your damn bet, and then you had to take pictures with Falcon gear on. You wouldn't be very happy about that. You would not be very happy about that. But this guy right here, who was directly involved with a pick six that decided the game, is standing up here smiling. That insults. That's an insulting action to me. And then a general manager that's beyond where he should have been lost that job two years ago. He should have been left and let Kai Harley take over the job. He sit up there collecting his money. He should got. I don't want to hear Mickey Loomis, and they hear these podcasts. They hear them. I don't want to hear Mickey. I don't want to hear you stand up there and quantify the Saints' displeasure in the Saints team, the family, the supporters of the team that's putting their money, their hard-earned money and time into the team, and you sit up here and talk about negative noise when they telling you the reason why the team is suffering and stinking is because of your decisions at the head coach level and the quarterback level. These guys are severely underperforming. How did you see Dennis Allen in that light? And then if you seen him at that light when you hired him almost a year and a half ago, you most certainly have to switch or update your view about him right now. It's like, man, this guy's not who I thought he was. So you give him an opportunity to fix things by going into his office or calling them into your office and saying, Dennis, listen, we getting a lot of people here that's displeased with this team, and they have a right to be displeased. Hell, they the supporters. Whatever happened to the customer's always right, Loomis? Huh? Whatever happened to the customer's already. So it's negative noise. Now you're going to see some negative stuff in them balance books. Let's see how you start talking then. Then Gail going to get the barking then. Gail, we done warned you constantly all year and last year about Dennis Allen not being a dude. So since you won't listen, you got negative noise, be prepared to get some negative some negative signs in that balance book at the end of the year when them tickets not moving, when them games are not being looked at, when that merch is going down, with them high ass nachos and the expensive parking, when that all goes down. See, you be prepared for a deficit in the compensation side of things from the New Orleans Saints. They don't want to hear that. You want this money. You're going to be responsible. You're going to listen to these people. You're not going to sit up here and ignore them and classify their displeasure in the team as negative noise. How dare you, man? How dare you? The Who Dat Nation is undefeated. Your salary is paid by the Saints supporters. You wouldn't be making that money if it wasn't for the Saints people. They give that money to the team, and Gail then disperses it out to you and the rest of them people up in there. You don't think how we know how this works? We the top of the pyramid, not you. The energy and the money comes from the people. You the bottom of the pyramid. They try to play this game when you at the bottom of the pyramid looking up. No, it's opposite land. We are at the top of the pyramid, and you are at the base of the pyramid. You do what we say you need to do, or you lose our dollar, which is why you're in it. So we're not going to shut up, and we're going to keep negative noise. Yeah, we're going to be a bunch of negative nannies until we run you and Dennis Allen and all these people that's tearing the team down clean up out of this son of a gun. I promise you that much. Negative noise, that shit. All right, shout out to the fam. Chantel says, Q, the Saints need to get a QB in here or let backup wins games. Look at the Browns. Deshaun Watson's out for the year. He had shoulder surgery. He done. And the Browns got backups in there trying to win. I've seen them win it. Yeah, they went to Joe Flacco. The Browns played their backups and went and got Flacco, so it's possible. The Clowns suck. Yeah, this is good commentary. Yeah, shout out to you, man. It's just amazing. They get the answers are right. These are not even tough questions, family. They just don't want to do anything. That's the thing. These are not tough issues to rectify, to remedy. They're not. These are very simple issues with the offense that can be remedied. The offense needs somebody else on top of it, maybe more of a leadership force that has everybody, that brings everybody on code. I recognize, I've studied and understand what being on code means. It's power in codification. You can't operate and win in this world unless you codify. You can't. Why? Why can't you win? If you're not codified, because the groups that you're competing against are codified. They're on code with each other. And you can't beat an on code group if you off code. It won't work. Codification is important in this society and in this world. That's how we get things done as a people. That's how we get done as a force. There's codification in the military. There's codification in the business world. There's codification everywhere. Everybody has to be on the same line for success to happen. That's how if you have dozens of people operating from different forms of walks of life, and they all come together, it'll be a complete craziness if we don't have them to all be on the same page in terms of what they need to do to get success. This is not a codified team. This team is off code. Anytime you star a fantastic player like Elvin Kamara comes out and says, we don't have no offensive identity, did Pete Carmichael say we do? That is being off code. That's off code behavior. Big time. Brent says, when we kept supporting, we quit supporting. Carcass gonna question why. How should we answer him? Tell him the answer stays in the Who Dat Nation, which he is not in. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Yes, indeed, man. Quincy says Q Carr is ranked 36 in the red zone. That's terrible. That means backups are having more success. 36 in that is awful, bro. Thank you for that commentary, man. Absolutely awful. But I'll take that, and I'll take the stats, the red zone stats, and take Carr's stats and give them to these people in the Saints building, and they'll push them aside because they're not serious about winning. They just want to make money. And I'm saying, if you got money put into, I already know what it is. Dennis Allen has a big contract. He has a big contract. That's why they didn't disclose it. He has a big contract. They're paying him more than what he should be making. And I guarantee you it's a lot more than what we thinking it is. It's like, nah, Q is average. No, it's not average. People don't keep an average salary contract secret. That don't make any sense. Whatever they're paying him, it's a lot more than what we feel that he should be getting, because he didn't earn that as a head coach. He should be making bottom 32. He should be the lowest paid coach in the NFL because he hadn't done anything. The prior stint don't mean anything because it wasn't a successful stint. He hadn't done anything as a head coach. As a coordinator, he's a very good coordinator. But once again, we don't need a coordinator running our team. We need a head coach. The man is simply not it. So the answers are there. We just got to fix it. We just got to utilize. We got to do it. But the issue is, will they do it is the question. And the answer is they probably more than likely not. Y'all put one in the chat. Let's see what Dennis Allen had to say about the preview against the Detroit Lions. Here we go.
We'll have an injury report, but it doesn't necessarily always say, has Chris Olave passed the concussion protocol yet?
No, there's still a step that has to take place here. So And again, the injury report will be out in an hour or
But
so.
yeah,
Whenever Doug can
I
get
didn't
this
know if
thing
that
done.
always clarifies if they're still in it or if they've completed.
Yeah, look, there's a chance that he could clear, so we'll just have to see.
Can you talk about Aiden Hutchinson and just the impact he has with their defense?
Yeah, look, I think he's an outstanding football player. He's big, strong, he's tough, he's fast, plays extremely hard. I mean, I think he's, kind of the lifeblood of their defense, and the epitome of what their defense is just a tough, physical, gritty group. He plays a run exceptionally well. He's affected the passer. I just think he's an outstanding football player. I can't say enough good things about him.
What's going to be the challenge in defending Amon-Ra St. Brown without Marshawn Lattimore in there?
Yeah, look, I mean, he'd be a challenge no matter who's in there covering him. I think he's an outstanding player. He does a great job he's smart, he's tough, he's highly competitive. He does a really good job of getting in and out of his breaks. He presents a lot of challenges in terms of being able to cover him. And then, look, there's a lot of run after catch with that player. So, yeah, he's a really tough player to defend.
When you're preparing for somebody like that, is it almost an expectation that you expect one of your top corners to shadow him? But with Marshawn out, you're kind of expecting both Paulson and Ike to see him at different times.
Yeah, look, I think the hard thing with him is he lines in a lot of different places, So it's not like he's one of these guys that, he's going to go line up over at the X position, where he's going to be, on 75, 80% of the snaps. Or, he lines up outside, he lines up in the slot, he lines up in the backfield. He's all over the place. So, there's a good chance there'll be a multitude of players that'll have to be on him at any point.
What is more challenging to take away, their passing game or their run game?
Both. I mean, they do a really good job at both. They run the ball exceptionally well. Their offensive line is a big physical group. They've got two, really good runners. One's a little bit more of a tough, physical, pound you type runner. The other one's runs hard, runs physical, but he's got a little bit more of the, slash type of running style to him. So both of them present challenges. Obviously in the passing game, again, it really starts, with protecting the quarterback and giving him clean pockets to throw into, and they do a really good job on their play action passing game. Again, it's another team that, they've got their shots down the field, and yet there's a lot of things where they're getting the ball underneath and getting a lot of run after catch. So, look, I think this is just a really good, talented offense that we're facing. They operate at a high level, and it'll be a challenge.
Dennis, I was kind of surprised at their low sack total because they do have a quarterback who will stay in the pocket. I thought maybe that would give teams opportunities to get to him, but what is it that they do well to
Well,
avoid those sacks?
a couple things. I mean, again, they've got a pretty good system of play action passing game with some max protection stuff to give him some time and some clean pockets to throw into. And then when they get into their drop back passing game, he gets through his progressions pretty good and finds the open guy, and he doesn't really hold on to the ball a lot. So, I think they just look. They execute at a high level.
You feel like you got what you wanted in the extra red zone day work yesterday?
Yeah. Look, I thought we had some good work. So now we've got to go out on Sunday and execute. So that's really all it's about now.
After going through the week, is this a week maybe for Jimmy Graham, or how do you feel kind of about him going in?
I think there's a potential we could see him.
And this is random, but or maybe dumb even, but he has rest days on Wednesdays, even though he's been inactive. Could you just kind of walk us through why that is?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you've got an older veteran player like that, we kind of knew that coming in when we signed him. That's kind of been the routine that he's been through in the last several years. So, we've kind of been able to just kind of stick to that routine a little bit.
Cam obviously doesn't miss many games. I think, does he have a chance?
What are we talking about here, man? What is this guy talking about? The routine of Jimmy Graham to sit for a month worth of games inactive on the team while the team needs help in the red zone. The last 4 games, the Saints could have used a lot of help in the red zone with Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham's not hurt. Jimmy's not hurt. And even if you felt that way, wouldn't you kind of regulate his snappage? Like he gets out there, okay, Jimmy, we thought about playing you like 10 to 15 reps, but we're going to just give you 5. And all 5 of them going to be in the damn red zone. How about that? He's not hurt. And why are you using him like other teams used him when they didn't even know how to use Jimmy Graham? The Saints used Jimmy Graham to the point where they made Jimmy Graham a name. Why are we then it's the questions, man. That's the questions I have in my head, man. Like, why are you following what another team did with Jimmy Graham when Jimmy Graham's not hurt? They didn't know how to get the best from Jimmy Graham happened during the Saints tenure. They turned him into a star. So how are we listening to, or how the last couple of years? That means the 2 previous years he was with other teams. We don't care about how they utilize him because they didn't utilize him correctly. We got the most out of Jimmy Graham. So why are we using that philosophy? Even to the point where he gets in and he plays 5 reps would be good enough. You don't have to overplay him. But 5 or 6 reps would be good enough. It's not like, okay, we'll give you 10 or 15 reps. How about 5 a game? And all of them in the red zone. We needed that production, especially over the last 4 games. The Saints don't have a red zone. I mean, Derek Carr has 0 touchdowns in the last 6 quarters of play. It's ridiculous. So I don't understand the logic here and it's just me, man. It's just how I think, man. I just don't get that logic. That makes no sense to me that he would even say something as ludicrous as that. That just makes no sense to me. Chantel says DA and DC are running the team into the ground, go to the landfill, pitch the garbage. That's all he is. Mickey Mouse Loomis needs to go. Mr. Benson rolling in his grave. Yeah, Chantel. I don't think the great Tom Benson would be very happy about his beloved New Orleans Saints organization about right now. You're absolutely right on that.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out to you. Thank you. Brent says possum playing carcass riddle. Yeah. See, and the protection of Derek Carr is ridiculous. Derek Carr needs to be called out. See, we calling them out and they're protecting them. You can't protect that guy. And I'm telling you, the more you try to protect him and cover him, the more viciously people are going to go at him, because then when you do that, that lets me know that you're not serious about winning. Derek Carr has to be told, and not only told, but his behaviors have to be corrected. He can't not be allowed to stare down wide receivers, and because more turnovers are on the way if he continues to do that. That behavior needs to be corrected. I'm not saying anything wrong here. Everything I'm saying is 1,000%, 1,000,000% facts. I'm speaking. All the stuff that I'm saying, you cannot dispute it. You cannot run away from it. And they probably will try to run because they're cowards. Fix the problem and stand on it, but they don't want to do it because it makes them look ugly. It makes them look liable. It makes people come after them when you don't fix what needs to be fixed. Carr can be fixed if people are serious about getting on him and making sure that he gets those situations under control. Staring down half of the field while another guy streaks up the opposite side, single coverage with the safety not even over there, you could throw in his direction. Being real on where he is in his development as a New Orleans Saints quarterback, that's number one. The tape shows everything. The tape is showing you the shape of his game for the Saints as the quarterback. You cannot dispute that. There is no way you can dispute the film. You can't dispute what I'm saying, because I'm talking 1% billion fact here. There is no running from this. His play needs to improve. He's only seeing half the field. He's unfundamental. He has no internal clock in his head, meaning that the great Drew Brees always talked about this, and other great quarterbacks mention an internal clock where they go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and they don't see what they like, they take off or they get the ball out. But you have to give yourself an opportunity to see the entire field, and he doesn't do that. He doesn't do it nearly enough, and when he does do it, positive things happen. But the guy is looking at half the field and receivers are running on the other side. This is the craziest thing that you could possibly see. And he's a 10-year veteran, and they gave him $100+ million to stare down wide receivers and to throw the ball. This guy, and listen, people saying he wasn't this bad. I've watched the Raiders film. His game wasn't like this. He was playing with confidence with the Raiders because he was making plays. He wasn't perfect, but he was playing a lot better than what he doing in New Orleans. Let me tell you something. The tape proves it. I looked at the film and seen, I was like, damn, how his game has regressed because, and I'm telling you, it's psychological. You can play mind games all you want, Derek Carr. I already know what time it is. His game is predicated on confidence. He was playing with confidence a lot with the Raiders. That's how he was able to make these throws, but he's not playing with the same confidence because he can't put the same zip on the ball that he was doing when he was with the Raiders because he's still hurt. I can see the plays. I went and looked at it. I was like, his ball there, he had tight windows and he would force the ball through tight windows because he had the arm to get it there. But for these, that's why he's a gambler. He takes shots on these type of plays. Like he thought he could fit the ball into Rashid Shaheed before the safety got there and then say, I ain't see the safety. How could you not see the safety? The safety was right there. He didn't disappear and then reappeared after the pick. He was there the whole time. The tape shows he was there. You just didn't see him. But see, he thinks that his arm can get him out of these issues with the tight windows. Like he can zip the ball in there quickly before the safety or the defensive back can converge to make a play on it. He's been getting away with that for years. But see, the problem is he don't have the same zip on his ball. I've been telling y'all that. The tape shows that you got to use the Raiders tape and you can go back and look at the Saints tape. He don't have the same zip on the ball that he had when he was with the Raiders. Thus, that gunslinger mentality that he was using to get him out of trouble is getting him in trouble because he don't have the same skill to get the ball there. He doesn't. Plus his accuracy, he was a little bit more accurate with the Raiders on Raider film. He would put the ball where it's supposed to be. He wasn't super accurate, but he was a lot more accurate than what he is for the Saints. His ball is fluttering. Some of his balls being thrown at the ground. He didn't all the time fire center mass. He don't always do a good job of leading the receiver just out front so he can do it. And a lot of that was, and I was like, how accurate is this dude versus that? The tape shows you that if you put the tape on as a Saint player, the ball, it always seems to sail just beyond, and receivers have to either jump or overextend for the ball, which opens them up for hits from the defensive backs to get hurt. Like when he threw the ball to Chris Olave when he got that concussion, that ball wasn't even catchable. He threw that ball out of bounds. It wasn't even catchable. Several balls in the game that he was trying to find Juwan Johnson was thrown ridiculously. Juwan Johnson didn't even have opportunity to get him. I'm like looking at the tape. How did he force the ball in there? Where was he throwing the ball? And I'm saying, people say he not hurt you. I'm telling you, bro, if you could tell if you do your damn homework and you go and look at the Raiders film and then look at what he's doing right now, he's obviously still hurt, dude. You don't get slammed down in the Green Bay game, which was several weeks ago, go to the freaking hospital to get x-rayed, his body x-rayed. They were looking for internal damage. And then he gets up and he's all good. He several weeks down the line and he's fine. Oh, Q, he done healed from that. Like hell he did. How did he heal? He been playing the whole time. We did the show when we covered it, I pull out the medical journals for your ass. And I showed you the time frame that it would take for him to heal from such injuries. Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. I do that purposefully so that we have an idea on what's going on versus what they say, because they can say whatever. But the medical journals, I pulled them out and they showed the time frame, they showed what type of injury it is, and they showed the proper healing process of how long it would take. And they were saying he had to be inactive, that he couldn't, it wasn't saying Carr per se, but a person that did get that type of injury, he could not be doing anything strenuous. He couldn't be throwing the football. He couldn't be doing all of these other things for it to heal properly. Put one in the chat if y'all remember me looking that stuff up. Put one in the chat because I covered all of that, man. And people be saying, oh, well, you doing that? No, I do my goddamn research, man. That's why people got to love and respect the Sports Coma and myself, man, because we keep a real deal. I pull out the journals. I pull out and I say, family, this is what it is. This is this, because they tell you this stuff and a lot of people don't know. So I get the medicals out and show you what it says. And it was saying that he would heal properly if this would happen, not he, Carr, but a person that got that type of injury or that received that type of injury. They could not be doing anything active. They would have to be inactive. They couldn't be using that arm or that shoulder that they got hurt. Did he heal properly? Hell no. They shot him up with painkiller, and he been doing that for most of the entire season. So no, he didn't heal from the shoulder issue. And then they hid the bruise. They said bruise chest or whatever the case was, and they hid that from you. I knew something was wrong with him then because I was like, this dude don't look right. And then when people seen him throw that ball and the defensive back came and slapped him on his rib and he folded over in intense pain in his face, I say, dude, this dude got busted ribs or bruised ribs. Something else is going on. Then all of a sudden, after that game, the next injury report popped up, showed the bruised chest or whatever the case was. They didn't put it on there until after you've seen it. That's what they do. They hide that. You're not supposed to, but I'm telling you, they got a history for doing that, and I've always exposed that. Peyton used to do that. So they don't even have him listed on the injury report right now, and you know he ain't well. He know he ain't well. People say he healed. No, bro. You need to go do your research on what kind of injury he has and how long it takes, and look at the information where it tells you that he can't be doing nothing pertaining to him throwing with that shoulder, none of that. So if he's still doing that, he's not honoring exactly what the medical journals say that a person with that injury is supposed to do, which means that it's not going to heal properly. It is not. And shooting him up with painkillers so he don't feel pain while he out there throwing, that will definitely not end well. I'm just keeping it real with you. That's why people are saying he not hurt. Man, who you think that dude is? Wolverine, some damn body? the dude is hurt. He's still playing hurt. That's why his balls are sailing. That's why they're going in the ground. That's why he can't fire with center mass or just slightly ahead of them to lead them. I'm telling you, and if you don't believe that, just go contrast the film, compare the film between Carr Raiders and Carr Saints, and you'll get your information. You'll get it. I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real. I had a chance to look at all of this, family. I know what's wrong with the Saints. I know, and you know, it's not hard. It's not hard to figure out what you need to do to fix this. It's not hard. It's not like finding a cure for cancer or something else like that. It's not hard. It's a simple stuff. They just refuse to do it because if you start languishing pain to Derek Carr and you start putting stuff on Derek Carr that belongs with Derek Carr, that brings them all down because then the Allen is connected to Carr. That was his call, and Mickey Loomis made it happen. So if Carr goes down, they all go down. So they're gonna stand up here and pretend like they don't see it, but we see it. And when the losses keep mounting up, you're gonna have to acknowledge it. So if he gets fired, you got to go with him because you were standing up there talking about the best people. But I could tell you how you're gonna try to spin it. Boy, these politicians, man, I know. Oh, well, see, I told you guys back in week number 12, week 13, that listen, I knew we had the right people in the building. Now, see, we just fired Dennis Allen, at the end of the season because we didn't make the playoffs. But listen, we still have the right people in the building. So, see, I was right. Oh, yeah. We still got the right guys. Not everybody's getting fired, but we got guys in the building that are the right guys. That's not the point, dog. We're not going to let you spin it. Any little techniques or little tricks or damage control you're going to spend, we're going to severely take that away from you. Not going to allow you to do because in order for that to work, you would have to accept that. You would have to be literally low IQ to the point where you believe everything they say. They're never going to admit totally that it's their fault because he made a wrong call. Loomis is not going to stand there and say, well, listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. You'll hear me say it, but he will never say it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Dennis Allen is not who I thought he was. When I hired him, I thought that, I thought he was good. I'm not going to tell you no lie. I'm not a liar. I'm not lying Mickey. I'm slick Mickey, but listen, I don't tell you. I listen, I was wrong. I thought he would lead the team, but I had to go in there and tell him, hey, Dennis, listen, I don't like what's going on here. And I got people. I went to Winn-Dixie yesterday, and there was a guy, an older lady. She was older than I was. I was going to get some eggs, and right before I reached out to grab the eggs, she stepped in front of me and folded her arms and looked at me, and I said, ma'am, excuse me, can I get my eggs? And she refused to let me get eggs. And then you know what she did after that? She took her wig off and started beating me with it. I had to get out of there. I was like, my goodness, what is going on here? People are mad. Listen, let me tell you, I can't do that. I can't have little ladies beating me with their wigs. I have never been treated like this. People used to roll out the red carpet, and I'm sorry, Dennis, we got to make some changes here, So, I mean, damn, bro, that's what it take. But I mean, he's never going to tell you the truth is what I'm saying. He's never going to tell you the truth about what's going on with this team because they're snapped into Carr and Dennis Allen, and to admit guilt, which would mean that he made the wrong decision, which would mean that he goes down with him. See, that's what kind of game we're running. Now, if he would keep it real and do what he needs to do, everything could change. It would change rather fast. It would change. So I mean, it's crazy, man. Out in the end of the day, man, we it's crazy out here, man. To be honest with you, man. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Thank you, Brett. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, man. What the hell, man? I'm just saying, fam. I'm throwing jokes in there because a lot of people upset, man. A lot of the Who Dat Nation is upset. So this is my way of kind of easing the pain that they're going through right now. I throw a few jokes in there. I'm a comedian, but I to present a little levity, throw a little levity in there to kind of make everybody laugh and kind of laugh it off a bit, man. But it's dire, man. It's not good when you have people who obviously like, dude, you can't tell that's a fire. Well, that's not a fire. That's a work of art. Oh, really? So that building standing up over there that's with fires covering it and everything burning up and falling down and shit like that. Oh no, that's not a fire. That's a work of art over there. You don't see that the fire way up to the sky. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a work of art, bro. No, that's how the vision is so vastly different between the management and what the actual supporters of the team is seeing. Only issue is the manager better start listening to supporters or they won't receive the supporter support. That's how that goes. So that's why I say the Who Dat Nation is undefeated. We are undefeated. It will not, it won't change. You will change this team one way or the other. Let's get back to this dude.
Chance to play this weekend?
Yeah, he'll be questionable for the game. And look, with Cam Jordan, like we're going to go all the way up until the very last minute to make that final determination. So I know Cam wants to play. I know he's been working extremely hard to get himself ready to play. And if he can play and be effective, then he'll be out there.
Just curious. I know don't practice, don't play is typically, I guess, how teams look at it. But how many veterans would you be comfortable playing if they don't practice all week?
Look, I don't know what the number is. I think there's certain guys that I think have enough experience in our league that they can go out and particularly a guy like Cam that's been in the system for a long time. So I think that's all based on the individual.
Dennis, Derek's been getting a lot of criticism locally, fans, how it goes, quarterback position. I mean, but I've noticed messaging from the organization, you, Mickey, Pete yesterday, kind of deflecting some of that. I mean, do you feel it's warranted for the quarterback, some of the criticism that's coming? Or
look, obviously when you're not winning like you want to win, there's certainly the head coach, the quarterback, the coordinators, that's where the brunt of the the criticism goes, and look, rightfully so, because that's really where the those are the key cogs in the operation. And so I think we all understand that kind of comes with the territory a little bit, and Derek's just going to put his head down and go to work. But it's a team game, and there's 3 phases that go along with it. There's 11 players out there on the field on every play, and everybody's got to be able to execute to have success.
Have you seen him this week?
Now I think that was shout out to Jeff Duncan, because Jeff Duncan really been doing a really stellar job asking these questions. Him and Mike Triplett have really been doing a really good job asking these questions, because they're not dummies, man. These guys are really intelligent. They know where the problem is lying with the New Orleans Saints. This was a great comment, a question by Jeff Duncan to ask Dennis Allen about the question dealing with the quarterback. And he said the term, I want to say, for lack of better words, he used that they deflected the questions to it. And that's exactly what Dennis Allen just did. He acknowledged first that, the blame is going to fall on, that's commonsensical. You might as well dress him up like Captain Obvious for that one. That was an obvious situation. It falls on the decision makers because it's not working. You can't run around from the statistics. You can't say, well, it's early on in the year. You can no longer say these were some of the excuses that they were using while the offense was stinking up. See, they can't say that no more with 6 games remaining. They just started missing people injury-wise, so they're going to start throwing that in there. But we won't let you do that, because we understood when the injuries started taking place and you were stinking and losing prior to the injuries happening. So shout out to Jeff Duncan, did a wonderful job of focusing in on trying to get them to answer the question of accountability. But notice toward the back end of his commentary, Dennis Allen then deflected again and moved away, said it's a team game. Then he goes into all three aspects of the team. We're not talking about all three aspects. That's a deflection. The offense is not carrying its water. The defense is carrying its water to a degree. The special teams is damn sure carrying its water because it kicked, 5 field goals in the game, and we had zero help from the offense with Derek Carr on top of it. Zero help. So you can't then deflect into other two aspects of the team when the offense is the problem. See, that type of behavior right there, that won't be that's not winning behavior. That's losing coward talk right there. That's why the team will continue to stammer and stumble because he's trying to protect the quarterback, his feelings. There's a lot of feeling talk. We talked about Mickey Loomis in my heart of hearts. So I think we got the right guy. It's too much touchy-feely talk. We need straight talk. We need more decisive decisions made around the offense and fix it. They're not giving us that, which means you're going to continue to get the same result that you've been getting. Up and down stuff happening. That's straight talk right there. But this is another deflection. They gave him opportunity to be honest, and he deflects into the defense and the special teams. What more can the special teams do? The defense held that other team, the Falcons, to 17 points. The offense kicked 5 field goals in the game. So you're going to talk about the other teams need to play better, the other aspects need to – man, get out of here, man. Come on, bro.
Week respond in any way at all?
Yeah, look, I think he had a good week of practice. So I'm pleased with and comfortable with where Derek Carr is.
This is insane. It's insane. Listen to this dude again. That's what I said. This is ridiculous, man. He's pleased. Listen to the words these people are using. This is ridiculous. Listen.
Respond in any way at all?
Yeah, look, I think he had a good week of practice. So I'm pleased with and comfortable with where Derek Carr is.
He had a good week of practice. They always have good weeks of practice. Every week is a good week of practice. All these, and I make a joke about it. The Saints have Hall of Fame practices on the offensive side. Stuff you wish you've seen on tape. Oh, we had a Hall of Fame practice session, but it never translates into the game. It's always disjointed nonsense. People not being on the same page. So how you having these fantastic practices and they don't translate on the field to play? You get out there with the lights on when things matter and you fall apart. Is that what goes on? That means that you're not a big time team, that you're not ready. If you can't take it from the practice field into the actual game, which we paying you to play the games. The practice is something that you're supposed to ferret out all of the problems and the miscommunication. And then that's sidebar, what I just said. The real point is he's comfortable. He's happy. Didn't he say happy? Let me kind of listen to that again, because that was ridiculous.
This week respond in any way at all?
Yeah, look, I think he had a good week of practice. So I'm pleased with and comfortable with where Derek Carr is.
He's pleased and comfortable with where Derek Carr is, even though Derek Carr has not scored a touchdown in the red zone in 6 quarters. He's comfortable and pleased with Derek Carr, who just picked 6th the Saints into a loss against a hated Atlanta Falcons rival team, which and then they lost the Saints turned around and lost the lead in the NFC South. He's pleased and happy with that. The funky ineptitude, the up and down, unbalanced bullcrap that's happening with him at the quarterback position, he's happy and pleased with that because he had a good practice. You see that? That's why that they're giving us the evidence on why the team will not improve, because they refuse to face the things that need to happen. Shout out to the reporters, man, because they know where the problem is. They're asking these guys the problem, and they're trying to protect these guys, and they're giving zero answers. Shout out to the reporters, man. Shout out to them.
You tell us a little bit about A.T. Perry, Keith Kirkwood, Lynn Bowden. Those guys have elevated roles this week, just sort of where the confidence level is.
Yeah, look, I mean, all of those guys have played games. Obviously, AT's a young player, but I think he's come in and done some good things when he's been.
I'm done. I'm done with it. I don't want to hear no more of them, bro. Let's get into the preview with the Detroit Lions. Let's do that, shall we? And this is pitiful, man. All right, let's get into it, fam. This is gonna look at this is the Detroit and Saints matchup information right here. As you can see, these are the rankings versus the teams here. You see the points and offense for the Detroit Lions versus the Saints. The Lions averaging almost 27 points a game, 26.7. That's good for 7th in the entire NFL. Saints averaging offensive wise, barely 21 points a contest. That's 18th in the NFL, tied for 18th. Total offense, the Detroit Lions averaged over 405 yards per game. That's good for 2nd in the NFL in total offense. The Saints are 347.1. That's 12th. Rushing offense, they average 137 rushing yards per game. That's good for 6th in the NFL. The Saints at 104.4. That's 19. Passing offense, 268.5 by Detroit. That's good for 3. Top 3, 3rd in the NFL. The Saints 242.7. That's 11. Third down offense. That's when it really steps up. Almost 43% that the Lions have. That's good for 11th in the NFL. The Saints 37%, 21st in the NFL. Red zone. This is where it really gets killer. Red zone efficiency. You can see 55.3 by the Lions. That's good for almost, middle of the pack. The Saints 42.5. That's 29th out of 32 teams. Red zone efficiency. Giveaways. 17 by Detroit, ranked 20. The Saints have 14, tied for 12. We move on to the defense. Defensive statistics. 23.5 is what the defense allows. That's 24th in the NFL. Saints allow 20.2. That's 8, tied for 8th. Total defense numbers, when you talk about all of it culminated, 318.8. That's good for 10th in the NFL. The Saints giving up 320.3. That's 12th in the NFL. Rushing defense, they shut you down. You can't run on them. 91.3, that's top 5 in the NFL. The Saints are allowing 124 yards on the ground, tied for not tied, but they're 23rd in the entire NFL. That is a huge, monstrous stat. A lot of that is scrambling yardage from the quarterback that's culminated in there. Sad. 124 rushing yards they give up per game. 124. And the Detroit Lions push at you 137 yards a game. So I think they're probably going to get that. We'll see what the Saints do. Passing defense, 275.5. That's good for 20th. The Saints 196.3. That's 7th. Without Lattimore, without Marcus Mason, we down 2 starters in the secondary. So we probably going to see some slippage there. Third down defensive percentage, 36.2. That's top 11th by the Lions. The Saints are 35.6. That's top 10. That's good. 8th. Red zone efficiency in terms of the defense, 68.6. That's 30th. The Saints are 54.8, 19. Takeaways, 12 takeaways. That's tied for 26. The Saints have 20 takeaways, tied 4th in the entire NFL. It's a shame that we can't do nothing with them. Now, the home series between the teams, you see the Saints record right there, 12, 13, and 1. The Saints are 7-4 and 1 at home with the Lions, which is what it is. The last little background information, last time Detroit played New Orleans was October the 15th of 2017, where the two teams combined for 90 points at that time. It was marked the highest combined total in a game in franchise history and currently ranks 2nd back in 2017. All right, so anyway, a couple of team leaders. You see Carr's 25-35 versus Goff over 3,000 yards. Alvin Kamara 457 on the rush with David Montgomery, almost 650 yards, and Jeremy Gibbs has 560. So they're a really good rushing unit. Receiving yards, Chris Olave at 771. Rashid at 534 is inactive. You see Amon St. Brown with 993. He's really stepped up his career. Most points scored so far. Blake Grupe has 91 total points scored. Patterson for them has 70. DeMario is our top tackler with 79 tackles per game. Alex Anzalone leads them. He'll be inactive in the game. He has 87. Granderson is our top sack guy at 5.5. Hutchinson also have 5.5. Aleem McNeil has 5 as well. So they got 2 5-sackers in there. And top pick man is Paulson Adebo having a fantastic year. Jerry Jacobs is him. As you can see, the Saints 5-6. We know this, 2nd in the NFC South. The Lions are 1st in the NFC North at 8-3. It's going to be fun to watch all this go down, fam. It's going to be very interesting. But if we take a look at some of this stuff, and we're going to go over the keys to what the Saints need to do in the matchup. But it's going to be interesting to see it one way or the other on how this thing focuses. So we know that Carr be the quarterback. We'll go over the depth chart. Carr and whatever. We know Chris Olave's not going to be there. We know that Chris Olave will be there. Rashid Shaheed will not be there. Michael Thomas won't be there. So you'll see A.T. Perry. You'll see Lynn Bowden Jr. You'll see Keith Kirkwood. You'll see them in the game. You should see Jimmy Graham as he should be active to play this game. Jawan Johnson, hoping he has he steps up. And you see Taysom running around. You see what he's doing. But we know our line is Andrews Pete at the left side with Hurst, McCoy, Ruiz, and Ramczyk. Jawan Johnson starts it off. Chris Olave will be there. Carr at the top of the team. Other guy will be A.T. Perry, Keith Kirkwood. We should see Lynn Bowden Jr. have an opportunity to step in there as our speed option there as well. For the Detroit Lions side of things, their quarterback, Jared Goff, having a good season. We went over his statistics. David Montgomery, wide receivers, Josh Reynolds, tight end is Sam Laporta, and you see Khalif Raymond and Amon St. Brown. Their offensive line is Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson. I think he's going to be out for this game, so you might see somebody else. Frank Ragnall, Graham Glasgow, and Sewell are their offensive linemen. The defense for the Saints, Carl Granderson, Colin Sanders, Nate Shepard, Cam Jordan. We'll see about Cam. A lot of people don't think he plays, and really they should sit Cam down for the long side of things. I wouldn't force Cam in there. We're just going to have to make do with Tanu Passanio. Isaiah Foskey should play more. Kyle Phillips, who we picked up from the Jets early in the year, he should get an opportunity as well. So if Cam can't go with the ankle for the interest of longevity, maybe Cam should be out of this game, and we go with Tanu Passanio there, Isaiah Foskey, Kyle Phillips. We should have retained JPP. That didn't happen, so it's all good. Pete Werner will be out of this game, so Demario Davis will be there. Zach Bond should get an opportunity to step in there, and perhaps we see DeMarco Jackson or, as a third guy if they need him, maybe Nephi Sewell, depending on how it looks. Paulson Adebo is there as well in the secondary. We see Alante Taylor, Isaac Yiddom will get an opportunity. Marcus May is out, so Jordan Howden will step in at the safety position next to Tyrann Mathieu. So we'll see that. Then, of course, we go on over to the Lions defensive side of things where they have a pretty good defense. Aiden Hutchinson leads the defense. John Kaminsky, Aleem McNeil, who's second in sacks, with Benito Jones in the interior. The linebackers are Derek Barnes and Alex Anzalone's out, so you might see Jack Campbell or Malcolm Rodriguez step in there for him. Cam Sutton, Jerry Jacobs are there. You take a branch at the nickel back, and Tracy Walker and Kirby Joseph are the secondary members. Special teams guys are Riley Patterson is there with the punter Jack Fox, and we know who our guys in Blake Grupe, Luke Hetley. If he can't go, then they'll more than likely activate the practice squad kicker that we picked up to get the game on. Now, so that's some of the lineup right now. And of course, what should be the keys to victory in this matchup with the Saints going up against a very tough Detroit team? What are the keys to victory here? What are the keys to victory? Keys to victory, and we always go over this stuff, family. The keys to the victory for the Saints against the Detroit Lions is going to be tough. The Saints will have to some kind of way figure out a way to stop because they run the ball really well. So we're going to have to try to stop them from running the ball. So that's another thing. They're they're sixth in rushing in the NFL. They run the ball really good. They have some really good running backs. David Montgomery and Jeremiah Gibbs play really well. They got some real good talent up there. So it's going to be difficult to kind of stop them from running the ball. And Jared Goff is playing some good football. He's been playing some good football for him, and he has a camaraderie with his wide receivers. The tight end Sam Laporta is doing a good job of mine. Amon St. Brown is really stepping up and doing his thing, and they got some people that can hurt you. So the Saints, they can't at home minimize the penalties and pre-snap penalties. We know this. Minimize the turnovers and not only get turnovers, but take advantage of turnovers, meaning some kind of way the Saints are going to have to capitalize off turnovers. We need touchdowns, not field goals. That's the answer in the game. Touchdown, not field goals. We need touchdowns, not field goals. This will not work against the Detroit Lions team. It won't work against them. They're a top 10 team in scoring. They average over 27 points per game. They got a top 2 total offense. So you kicking field goals will not help. You got to put up touchdowns. You got to help out the offense. If the Saints can some kind of way figure a way to get rid of the red zone issues, and based on what Dennis Allen is saying and what Derek Carr is saying about this fantastic practice, Dennis Allen just said that he's totally comfortable, and satisfied and comfortable, whatever he said, with Derek Carr at this stage, which means it's just ridiculous, but it is what it is. So if we believe that they had a magical and mystical performance where they found all of the answers, like Derek Carr said yesterday, when we got all the answers, we got the answers, we got the offensive answers. The reporter said, what's the answers? Well, we keep that in-house. So you can't tell me what you're going to do right. Well, no, I can't tell you. I can't tell you because we go, it's going to end up happening. It's see, I went out here, I put the ball up here, and if I tell you what's going to happen is, it helps out, it helps out the other team. We can't do that. It helps out the other team. So, I got to do, we had a great practice, and it was one for the ages. It was we guys were back flipping in the end zone. I wish we'd have taped it. You guys would love it. We were doing, crazy. I threw a ball. It bounced off the goalpost. It was a touchdown. That was beautiful. Yeah. We were, I went over here, and then picked this up, and then when I threw the touchdown, I went to the sideline. I grabbed my phone. I FaceTimed Chris Olave. He told me that he was going to play in the game. So I said, yeah, cool. So I sat down. I took a picture of the grass. Looked like I had just stepped in the grass. I said, look, this step in the grass right here looks like Chris Olave's face. So I took him a picture, sent it to him. He said, he liked it. I was going to post it. I said, nah, let me not post that. But, yeah, we're going to win. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, the car word salad during the breakdown, Carr said yesterday was that he felt really good. He had a fantastic practice. It was a magical practice, and we got to make it count. So, I mean, it's crazy to me that they're trying to spin this stuff, but it just only compounds things if they don't find the answers. And the question is, we know the answers. The reporters know the answers. Any good football-minded person who follows the sport knows what's wrong with the Saints. Everybody knows except for them. They know too, but they don't fix it, which is an indictment on them and their ability to get things done. But Dennis Allen to sell out like he did for Derek Carr and say, I'm totally pleased with Derek Carr. He's beyond, you can't talk to people like that. You just let them go and drive off the cliff and just, say, well, hey, bro, listen, that bridge is out up there. Well, yeah, I know, but my car is fast. Maybe I can leap, I can get over the bridge. I can drive my car really fast and I can jump over the ravine and then I can go to the other side. No, but I don't think you should do that. The bridge is out, okay? You're not going to make it because your car is faster. Well, see, you got a truck. I got a sports car. So if I drive really fast, I can make it. Buddy, I just told you the bridge is out. What are you talking about? And then he goes down there, drives, saying, well, I got a fast car. And then he goes into the cliff faster. You can't tell people like that, nothing. You can only let them go to the place they're going. And trust me, it's going to help out. This is all going to help out the Who Dat Nation in the end, because they're going to basically take care of themselves. So it's really, truly because they don't have the answers. They're not going to fix the team because they don't have the answers. And if they do have the answers, they're not going to implement them. They're not going to implement them. Dennis Allen's not going to implement it. He's supposed to chastise his quarterback for foul quarterback play and bad fundamentals. He's supposed to chastise him. He's not doing any of that. He doesn't chastise these guys. He doesn't discipline these guys. That's why the team is up and down. They're an undisciplined mess. No disrespect to my guys on the team that are really good players, but you just one person. You can't overcome the mindset of the mentality of the coach. He has to keep these guys together consistently week after week. This is not the guy to do that. He doesn't have the abilities. I can see it. Everybody can see it. And Mickey Loomis going to sit up here and say, we got the right guys in the building. I really feel that all in my heart of hearts. It ain't got nothing to do with it. It's always touchy-feely in your heart. And I believe, and we got the right guys. And this other guy, I feel like Derek Carr is, no, man. I don't care what you feel or what you think. All I see is the results on the field, and they stink. So miss me with the talking and all the word salad. It's terrible. So the answer to the win for the Saints is they have to score touchdowns where they have not scored touchdowns in the red zone in a while. They can't turn the ball over in opportune times. They have to minimize the pre-snap penalties, and they have to stop the run. We don't too much have to worry about Jared running off because he's mostly a guy that stands in the pocket and delivers the ball, but he's gotten really good in the Detroit system. He really has. He's confident. He's seeing the field. He stands tall in the pocket, and he delivers the ball to his receivers. He got a really good tight end that he throws to, and he has an offensive line that blocks well for him. You think those two running backs that got all that yardage piled up right there, you think for a second that they got that all by themselves? No, that Detroit offensive line is putting some pain down on defensive line, running at them. Can the Saints deal with that, especially with a Cam Jordan that's gone? And Kalen Saunders and Nate Shepard not looking like much these last several weeks, playing out of position, meaning so much is like they're getting mauled, man. Those guys are getting pushed around out there, man. They really are. You know, and I like Saunders and Shepard, but they're getting manhandled, especially over the last several games. They're getting pushed around. The quarterback running around on them, that's something that the Saints don't have an answer for. And I don't think we have to worry about that like that. But I think Jared going to take off once or twice on him just because he can, because the Saints will provide him. They will afford him a window that's just utterly ridiculous. And he'll run on him a couple of times and pick up a couple of yards. He'll do it. He'll probably put up like maybe about 25, 30 scrambling yards on the Saints because it happens. You know, and of course the Saints will be down one of their linebackers, and so Cam could not be playing. Probably if he plays, he's not going to be that effective, to be honest with you, in ankles, which means Cam shouldn't play. We know that our other starting linebacker, Pete Werner, will be out, which means Nick Barnes might be in, or even DeMarco Jackson. They're coming in. Either way, it's not going to have the same impact than a Pete Turner would, Pete Werner would have. He's missing. Marcus May, who was caught in several plays last week in a bad light, he's out of this game. So Jordan Howden, the rookie, and I like how he's been playing. But that's a lot of personnel. We know Lattimore is out. So there's a lot of personnel for the defensive side to be down on and thinking that you're going to kind of tamp down on the top 10 offense in the Detroit Lions. So it's a tall order to ask for the Saints defense that's starting to feel some blows from injury, and the Saints offense totally inept at the quarterback position. Carr can't, he doesn't see the full field, and it could be another interception involved in this game because not a word's out, and they're going to be looking for him. And he's like, hey, bro, just pay attention to his sorry eyes. He'll stare at the guy and throw to him. So just be prepared. So these are the things, is some of the stuff that has to happen. They have to score touchdowns instead of field goals, bottom line. That's the it in a nutshell. All other stuff I always often talk about that they will have to do against the Detroit Lions. Now, what's the call by me? I think the Saints lose this game. I'm going to be honest with you, because nothing, and I could be wrong here. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong, because there's nothing that Dennis Allen or Mickey Loomis has given us over the last week. We heard from Mickey. We heard from Dennis Allen several times. We heard from Derek Carr. We heard from Pete Carmichael. All of those guys are the top dudes on top of the Saints team. Mickey at his level, Dennis at his level, Pete Carmichael at his level, Derek Carr at his level to the field. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way down to the field. None of the guys that have an impact on changing the offense said anything different than what they usually would say, that they've been saying, which means that we'll get the same result. There was no change at the offensive caller. They had moved Ronald Curry in there at the play calling position just to see how things, none of that happened. It's the same stuff, which means you'll get the same result. I'm expecting the Saints to lose this game against the Detroit Lions, and ultimately, don't be surprised when it happens. It will happen because the Saints have not fixed the issues that they need to fix to get it going. They can't compete with the Detroit Lions in terms of them going touchdown for touchdown. So they will have to score early. So coming out of the game, the Saints should start the game off, march the field, get a touchdown. That helps the defense out. And then maybe we can get the running game going to kind of stifle them. You don't want to go play for play. You want to have long drives. Like you scoring touchdowns, you eating 4 or 5 minutes off the clock. That means that involves you using a running attack. So the offensive line will have to bring it against their defensive line. And of course, when Derek Carr is back there, he can't sit back there forever and decide on where he's going with the ball, because Aiden Hutchinson will get him. And McNeil, who's an interior defender, would get him. So we can't have that. So for me to say that we overcome all of that, and look, Detroit can come into this game and have a bad game. But I doubt it. They lost to Green Bay in the Thanksgiving matchup. They really super focused to come in here and beat the Saints. A lot of coaches come from the Saints that's on this team. They want to beat the Saints, So in the end, I think Detroit ultimately wins the game. I don't think it's close. Derek Carr or Dennis Allen or Pete Carmichael said nothing in any of these interviews that signified that the Saints was going to do something different to change how the offense been looking over the last several weeks. They almost pretending like it didn't exist. Like, we're totally fine. We just need to sink in even further. No. If you're trying to say that what we need to keep doing it, but doing it better, that's not the answer. Because whatever you're doing is not working. So how do you keep doing what's not working better? That don't even make sense. But that's why I'm saying, from my perspective, that I don't see anything positive, because I've listened to and played all of these guys on this show, and they have said nothing different about changing up the offense. So I'm not picking their ass to win this game. I think the Saints lose this game to Detroit. Don't you be surprised at the end of the game And then you get Dennis Allen up there talking, and you get Derek Carr up there if he comes out there, and then the whole another week of what we gonna do. We got Carolina, and don't think you're gonna get a win on Carolina the week after that when Carolina changing all their people around. They're gonna be throwing everything at you. So that's not an easy out. So, and plus you say, well, Q, they in the dome. The Saints are my goodness. It's just what it is, man. It is what it is. The Saints are what, 2-4 in the dome? But no, they're 2-2 in the dome. I don't even think the Saints are. The Saints are what in the dome? What are they home record, family? What's the home record for the Saints in the dome? They 2-2, man. Saints are 2-2 in the dome. I just looked it up. So it's not like the dome is a sacred place for the Saints to go and get healing and come out. They're 2-2 in the dome, 500 in the dome. So it's not even a safe place for them in that regard. So in the end, what I'm saying is I'm just saying based on what I've gotten from Carr and Carmichael and Dennis Allen, I'm not confident the Saints have solved the woes that they needed to solve, especially in the red zone, to do something. Now, Jimmy Graham plays in there, but Derek Carr has to find him. So we're going to see, man, how it all looks. We ain't got long to wait. Tomorrow morning is the game. We're going to be back here at 11:45 to do the pregame, and then ultimately the play-by-play, then the postgame for New Orleans Saints. So I want them to win, but, man, they're not giving me anything to signify that they have changed anything to make it work. And if Carr comes out and he blazes it up, man, I'll be the first one to say, hey, man, I was wrong. But from my perspective and what I've been doing for all these years and watching these people, I really don't see it, man. And I'm really not feeling it. Like the last game, Atlanta, I was like, man, they could beat Atlanta. And then they went in there and defeated themselves. They laid down to the Falcons. So anyway, that's what it is and how it is, as they say. So shout out to Brent. He says we had dome field advantage in years. All right. Thank you, Brent. That's true.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
What's up, Fred? How you doing, brother? He says Big Q. Dennis Allen stated that he disagreed with Alvin Kamara's perspective and said we have an explosive offense. DA needs to stop lying and show some accountability. They won't. Thank you, Fred. They won't do that, bro, because Dennis Allen is who he is, man. Dennis Allen is I keep saying that Dennis Allen is not a head coach. You can't sit up here and cosplay. He's a cosplaying head coach. He's cosplaying the position. He's not a real head coach, bro. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm saying he's not honoring the role as what a real head coach, a successful head coach would do. Real head coaches don't run away from accountability issues when it's obviously clear that you're not being he's not even the type that even is accountable. He's the one that hides behind his team. Like when Derek Carr did the same thing he did early in the week, he probably telling them to do it. If they ask you about QB issues, just say that we all are the same. You're not saying, nah. If you want the respect of your offensive linemen and your wide receivers and the skill set players, you got to stand before them and say, hey, it's all on me, and not back into it like he did in the prior interview. He being Derek Carr. Well, if you want to throw slings, throw it at me. I'll take it. That was a weak bull crap. No, stand up with your chest out and talk with your chest out and say, man, it's on me. I need to play better. I'm staring guys down out there. I'm not putting the ball on them like I'm supposed to. I'm only looking at half the field, and other guys are running around, streaking down the field, and I don't even see them. That's on me, and I will change. I will do such and such. You don't hear none of that. You just hear him running and go, well, we all stink. That's pretty much. You want to endear yourself to your teammates. You want to endear yourself to your teammates and get some respect, because you damn sure ain't getting it on the field. At least take responsibility for what you did, especially in the game against Atlanta when the pick six decided the game. The pick six decided the game, and he's standing up smiling in the pressers. Talking about it's going to be positive. Man, listen, man, that has its place. But right now you need to move that aside, and you need to focus on the task at hand. And really, it's not just Derek Carr. It's up to his coaches to make him understand that won't be tolerated. You will not be staring guys down and throwing pick sixes. You're going to sit on the effing bench. That's what you're going to do. We'll put Jameson there to get the offense stirred up. Whatever we got to do to move the offense, we're going to do it. And they don't have that mentality. They're trying to force Carr to run the offense, and it's not working. You can't force that. If the offense is not moving behind Derek Carr, you got to go with somebody else. The question is, where is the line drawn in the sand when too much is too much, or not enough is not enough? We're running out of time. We're running out of games. Where is the line in the sand to say we can't go beyond this if he continues to do this? Where is the cutoff point where we move beyond him if he can't drive the offense? Where is the cutoff point? The answer is there is no cutoff point. Dennis Allen don't know what a cutoff point is, and neither do Mickey Loomis. But I'll tell you what the cutoff point is. Let you end this season without getting into the playoffs, and it's another season of 6 games remaining. I got the Saints winning 2 of 6. That's not going to be enough for anything. Even if you split it and say 3-3, it'll be hard pressed for them to clean up anything. They would have to beat all of the NFC South rivals. Carolina again, they would have to split with Tampa, and they got to beat Atlanta at the end of the day. At the end of the year, they got to beat them. So you got it 3-3. You might get in the NFC South. It depends on where Atlanta is at the time. It depends. If Atlanta put on some games and they win 4 of the next 6 games, or whatever, or they win 4 or 5, it depends, because you didn't gave the power up to them because you didn't beat them. So I mean, you're not going to back into nothing. You're going to have to actually win games. And like I said, I just don't see any changes from this week to say one way or the other that we're going to have success. I'm just going to be honest with you on that. That's just what I see. All right. Thank you, Brent, for that super chat, man. Appreciate y'all. I'm about to get ready to get on up out of here, fam. But shout out to Dom, man. He says the front office and the coaching staff has to hear these podcasts. Saints reporters dodging them. He's dogging them because literally no one talks about the Saints. Yeah, Dom, they do, bro. And there's quite a few reporters that actually listen to the show. We've been doing this for a while, bro. So, if one thing people respect, it is definitely thoroughness. Like, we are thorough. We've been doing it for a while. We are consistent and thorough. And people respect that no matter what field of endeavor or business or whatever you come from. Man, that guy's always out there and he's always talking and keeping it real. So they know, and there are people in the building that listen. There are a lot of people that listen to the broadcast, not just mine, but others that understand that this is the same talking. This is the same voice all across the Who Dat Nation. We speak in the voice. It's the voice of the Who Dat Nation. It's the keeper. It's telling it like it is. And that's the only way it needs to be. There needs not be, you can't spin bad football. You can't. You can't spin bad football. You can't spin bad football to people that know what time it is. I'm not going to let you spin this. Oh, well, the problem is, we just need more time. No, time is running out. Oh, and you see, the problem is, people need to back up off Carr. They're being too critical. No, the people don't have nothing to do with Carr. If Carr is impacted by people off field telling them that his game stinks, and everybody's saying it, maybe there's some truth to it. You ever thought about that, Mickey? Perhaps there is some truth to what the Who Dat Nation is saying. They are displeased because the team is underperforming. They're displeased because the team is losing to teams that it ain't supposed to lose to. But that's negative. Oh, that's negative. Just shut up and give us your money. That's pretty much how they want this to go. And that might have been the case some years ago. That's not the case this year or into the future. People are realizing they have power to guide their teams with their money. We've always had that. So they hit you with, this is your team. This is your Superdome. You don't have any keys to no building. You can't go up in there and put your feet up. You can't get free nachos. But it's your New Orleans Saints. Okay, if it's my New Orleans Saints, then you know what we're gonna do here? We're gonna turn this ship the right direction. We're gonna take it. We're not gonna run it into the minefield. We're not gonna direct it toward the iceberg field. We're gonna turn this thing and we're gonna turn it to clear waters, and we're gonna sail all the way through the championship land the best way we know how. It won't be because we spinning it. Yes, and the reporters are on code. The reporters are on code with the Who Dat Nation. They, for a large majority of them, always are. And you notice that the theme is, as the Who Dat Nation commands these questions to be answered, the reporters and the stories are coming out even more so, because they understand people are not going to hear reports that are trying to protect the team. They will not read that. You won't get any reads on stuff like that. They want and demand the truth, and they deserve it. So, this is what we've been doing for some time now, man. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is what it is. It's a mess, and eventually it'll be something. What's up, Willie, man? He said, why do y'all want to see the Saints make the playoffs when we need a quarterback? I hope they lose all the rest of the game so we can get a quarterback. Well, I don't hope they lose. I don't do the hope the Saints lose thing. I want them to succeed, man. I want them to succeed, man. I want them to succeed. But to be honest with you, they won't, because the guy, they're not serious, bro. They're not, until you correct Carr's behavior as a quarterback on the field and make him prepare better. you won't win these games. Until they make them understand that failure will not be tolerated. If you fumbling, you won't play. If you grab a face mask, you won't play. You're going to lose time. Until that happens, they won't be winning a lot of games. They got to win a lot of games to stay ahead of this thing. If with 6 games remaining, they need to win at least 4 of them to stay relevant, and they have to beat the NFC South. Do you see that happening? If you got Dennis Allen out here making excuses for Derek Carr, talking about he's pleased and with him, and just how you pleased with this guy and he's playing like this. You just threw a pick 6, you pleased. Well, I seen his practice, I'm pleased. And that's just, it goes beyond that. What it is just a cover your ass move. Like, they wanted this guy here and he stink and he's struggling mightily in the offense. He's not worked well in the Saints QB friendly system. He's struggling all over the place. And it's his fault. Is he doesn't see the field. He doesn't look at the whole field. That is his fault. His fault, the reason why he looks like that. And until he refuses to take responsibility for it. And as long as he keep doing that, he won't fix it. Nobody will make him fix it, and it will continue to happen. And so they're going to eventually take care of itself, Willie, but I don't want none of them to want to lose, bro. That's not how I look at it. Eventually they will lose because they're not doing what it takes to win. And when I say they're not serious enough to make any changes, fam. We know changes need to be made, right? How are they serious and they refuse to make changes, and they know the changes need to be made? And Dennis Allen said it. We need to make changes, but he makes no changes. He makes 0 changes. And they talked about having a bye week. What resulted positive from the bye week? They had that extra time to figure out what they was going to do. Remember that? They was having great practices after the bye week, prior to the bye week, after the bye week. How did that work out? How did it work out? Nothing. It was the same stuff. In some increment, it was even worse. So it's just, it is what it is, bro. So it'll happen sooner or later, man. We'll see. Brent says, you speak relevance, Q. Lots of other shows talk history like we've happened way back when, even the Chowder guy used recently. Come on, man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate
Trying
you.
to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. T Mama agrees. She says me too. Yeah, and it's not negative noise, Mickey. It's the fact that you have to show people. You got to show us. That's right. Show me. Tell them again, bro. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. You got to show us, man. You talk a lot of stuff. I heard about the magical practices y'all had this week. We've heard that talk last week when you got handled by the Falcons. We heard that week prior to the Minnesota game. We've been hearing this talk about having magical practices, and we keep hearing about magical practices and great practices, but it never translate to the game, which would then indicate that you are a practice team, which means you're not ready for the lights. When the lights go on and you fall apart, that speaks to the psychological effect of the entire team. If we believe what they're saying about these magical practices they keep having prior to the games going. So if it's true and they're telling the truth that they're practicing like what Derek Carr and Dennis Allen are saying and Pete Carmichael, they all said the same thing. We had a really good week of practice. Oh, you should have seen it, man. People were flipping over, back flipping into touchdowns, man. It was a lot of toe tapping and toe dragging and everything, man. Derek Carr threw a pass behind his back for a touchdown. Oh my God, guys, you should have seen it. It was a magical practice, and then the lights turn on, and then they disconnect here. I thought you was gonna run over here. No, and all this kind of stuff. It's disjointed. It's crazy. So either one or two things are happening. Either they're telling you the truth that they're having magical practices, or 2, this is a team that's psychologically weak that falls apart when the lights turn on. So either one or two things are happening here. I don't know. You pick it. But I know damn sure that whatever these magical, mystical, special practices that they have, and it never translates to the field. We don't have consistent success on the field, and that's a problem. So it really boggles my mind how they having all these fantastic practices and they don't show on the field. Don't it boggle your mind? Doesn't it boggle your mind? What's up, Professor? How you doing, sir? He said the ghost of Sean Payton is still alive. Shout out to you, Professor, man. I meant to reply to your message, bro. I like to thank you for all your support, man. Appreciate you, bro, for what you do and how you do. The Professor, man, one of the elite of the great Saint think tank, man. I appreciate that, brother. Big Sean says, Q. Yeah, well, yeah, Aaron Hall, bye-bye. Yeah, I might have to tune that one up in a couple of weeks, man. We might have to tune that up. I don't know, man. We're gonna see how it all looks. We got until tomorrow, fam. We're gonna toe tapping and toe dragging. All that back flipping in the touchdowns. And Chris Olave did a backflip touchdown grab, and boy, I wish y'all would have seen it. Yeah, we threw a touchdown. Derek Carr threw a touchdown behind his back. Matter of fact, we were 5 of 5 in the red zone during practice. So y'all guys talking all that stuff, you're gonna see when we take on the Detroit Lions, man. It's gonna be toe tapping and toe dragging out there on the field. Man, y'all ain't gonna believe it. Y'all gonna swallow them words. Y'all gonna see that Derek Carr is for real. And y'all were wrong, especially that big Q guy. He is 100% wrong, man. We're gonna beat the mess out of the Detroit Lions. We're gonna reestablish ourselves as a team. And Derek Carr is the answer to all that is wrong in the Who Dat Nation. I sincerely hope so. I really do. I want them to succeed, but in the end, I really don't think they will. All right, Brent says magical means unbelievable. Magical. They're having to perform. Now, I threw magical in there, but because I could play, you just heard me play Dennis Allen says that we had a great week of practice. Pete Carmichael said the same thing yesterday. And when Derek Carr when he played his interview, he talked about how great the practice is. They keep using the same thing. Great practices. I'm not berating them. I'm saying, how are these practices that they're having when they're doing all this fantastic stuff and it's not making the field? I just don't. How is it not getting to the field? How does it not make it to the field when practice? The practice is supposed to mean something. If we winning, if it's successful, we're not. The offense doing all this practice and then they still get on the field. They go 3 and out. They missing blocks. Guys are not where they're supposed to be. It's miscommunication. Car's not looking over the field. How is it? How are the two so diverse? How do you have the greatness of practice and then the stankness of the game? I don't understand. The two don't correlate. I don't understand. Thank you, Brent.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, Chantel says, Q, we need a coach like Mike Tomlin. Yeah, he plays no games. He would bench Carr in a heartbeat. That's the kind of coach the Saints need. Chantel, you are preaching to the choir, sweetheart.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
I don't get it. Barbara, shout out to you, Queen. Says play. You can't win from the Wiz. Okay, we taking. Is that what we doing, peoples? We gonna turn it into a radio show? Is that what we go? Q, DJ Q, we need you to play. You can't win by the Wiz. Hold on. Let Queen Barbara say. Let me see if I can get that tuned up for you. All right, you. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Y'all got me taking requests. Y'all got me taking requests for real, y'all. That's how we gonna do this. Is that what we gonna do? We gonna turn this into request hour right now? Is that what's going on? Oh man. All right, okay. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, Barbara, just because you asked me. So here it goes.
Elucidate, reiterate, and syncopate.
You can't win. You can't make it, and then you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they're staying the same.
Y'all crazy. Boy, Michael Jackson, it's almost like Michael Jackson is A, he's still alive, and B, he's a Saints supporter. Did you just hear what Michael Jackson said? We expecting to change, but things are gonna stay the same. You can't win. Oh my goodness. Mike, talk to us again, brother. How that went? Let's hear it again.
You can't make it, and then you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they're staying the same.
Oh man, that's funny, man. That's super funny, man. You can't win. That's how about that with Michael Jackson, man. Thank you, Barbara. All right, Brent said, what kind of special dressing they drizzling on the word salad they serving? Yeah, what's going on there, man? For real. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
I'ma say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, that Michael Jackson was, you heard that, y'all? Michael Jackson, man, was breaking it down. Barbara, that was the perfect song right there. That's about it. Yeah, yeah. That's about it. Yeah, that is definitely it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Tasha says you can't break even. You can't get out of the game. That's perfect. It really is. That was a perfect one, Barbara. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, boy. Michael hit it right on the head, man.
You get in way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can win, child. You can't break even. You can't get out of the game.
Oh my goodness. Love this show. All right. Shout out to you, Sean. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was fire. Wasn't that fire, y'all? That was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right. Yeah, that was pretty good, man. That was pretty good, man. You can't win, man. That's terrible, man. That's but it's true. All right, Marley Mall, man. Oh man, Marley says Q play. Why would I play that, bro? What's that relevance, bro? I don't think. Oh, I know you. Nah, bro. You gonna play that? No. I can't, Sean. I can't play the whole thing, bro. All right. Tough Tiger says we should hire Michael Jackson from the day. Yeah, well, he'd have more life than Dennis now, wouldn't he? He would definitely have more. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness, man. It's y'all are good, man. This was a good one. That made my day too, fam. That was funny. That was a good one, Barbara. Yeah. Yeah, we turned into Saint talking to request hour. But anyway, listen, fam, we're gonna get ready to get on that, man. That was Coffee with Q. Saturday Saints talk, man. Listen, man. We did the recap and the preview of the game. Well, actually, the preview of the Detroit Saints matchup in the Dome tomorrow. And of course, Saturday, fam, y'all know we're going to be back at 11:45. We start the pregame discussion. We go over the inactives and we cover a few things before the game get going. And of course, we are there for the summation of the game all the way through the game to halftime, then the post game. And ultimately, we recap toward that end. And then that's the end of the broadcast. But listen, it's going to be a tough game for the Saints to overcome. Because they're not just beating the Detroit Lions is the answer. The Saints have to also get out of their own ways. A lot of what's happening with the black and gold team is that they're in their own ways. They're fighting themselves and the Detroit Lions, and that's a hell of an opponent to be able to try to get through. You fighting yourself to stay from making mistakes, to be on the same page, because the Saints are off code like a dog. Anytime your best player is saying they don't have an offensive identity and the offensive coordinator is saying that they do and the coach is saying that they do, that is off code behavior, which means the team is probably not going to win a lot of games. That's what bad teams do. They're disjointed. And usually when that happens, it takes wait for it, family, a leader to step in and right the ship. You don't have that. Dennis Allen is not a leader, and we've seen that. He would rather run from things than to go and fix it. He is not a leader. It takes a leader to turn his team around, and that's why the Saints are reeling. Somebody has to take control of the wheel and guide the team where it's supposed to go, and he's too busy making excuses from why the ship is failing, why things are failing. They don't have a leader on top of the team. Mickey Loomis is not a leader. Mickey Loomis should already have recognized he's supposedly have seen 20 years or whatever it is of football. He should know what this is going, what is this headed to. He should already know where this team is headed. Like we see where they're headed, and it's not good. But for him to been around the Saints for all those years, I want to know what he's looking at. Or perhaps the game has passed Mickey Loomis by. I'd like to thank you for your service, but you need to get the hell out of the way. You're clouding the vision and the future of this team. You have a dinosaur vision. this team is headed toward a 9 playoff year unless you make changes to the offense. Believing stupidly and foolishly in a quarterback that's not giving you anything will not rectify his wrongs, because nobody's fixing his wrongs. They're not telling him stop staring people down or forcing him to do something otherwise than what he's doing. The offense is stinking and suffering because he's on top of the team. It's not, oh, let's everybody. He got 50-some odd people that's a part of the team. The quarterback touches the ball more than anybody. And if he's not doing the proper thing with the football or making the right decisions, the offense will suffer. And ultimately that pressure falls on the defense to make up extra. If he's going 3 and out and he's not directing the offense correctly, the pressure falls on the defense. They'll have to play more football. Pressure falls on the special teams to kick field goals, in which we had 5 of them against the Falcons. You can't win games like that. You have to score touchdowns. You can't make it away from that. You can't run away from that. So in the end, eventually, I think it will happen the way it's supposed to, unless they make changes. But probably they won't make it until they're too late, which is, it goes right along the mentality of these people on top of the team. Then we're gonna get everything we want, because you're not going to convince the Who Dat Nation to keep Dennis Allen beyond this year. You're not. And, he would have to win. He would have 6 games remaining. Do you think the Saints win 4 of the 6? That's what needs to happen for the Saints to make a run, and then hope Atlanta and everybody else fall down. No, they have to win the majority of these games. I would say at least 4 games to make it there. Do you see the Saints winning 4 games out of the 6 games? Do we actually see that? Seriously, are they going to win 4 of the next 6? That's what it'll take. They have to beat all of the NFC South people, especially Atlanta and Tampa. They got to clear them out. And they got to get matchups with. We got the Rams in there. We got Detroit. The 6 games remaining, including Detroit. And that's up for discussion. That's no debate on that one. So, I mean, we're going to see. And ultimately, we're going to get what we want one way or the other. We got hard-headed people that think they got the answers, man. So, in the end, we're going to get exactly what we want. So, yeah, look, Asa says nope. So, that's what it comes down to. We got 6 games remaining. Do the Saints win 4 of the 6 to stay relevant? That's the question. And it is what it is. All right, WB. So, that's when Michael Jackson was still black. Oh, bro, come on. All right. Oh yeah, I talked to him about 2 weeks ago. He's supposed to pop up, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see about him coming on, man, tomorrow. I'm gonna have him to pop in the pregame. We're gonna talk to him. Maybe I'll bring him in on the pregame or the postgame tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good question, Tasha. I spoke to him. I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, and he was supposed to make a pop up on the show, and I just totally forgot. He didn't call me. So after to remind me, and I just had so much going on, but I'm gonna reach out to him and see if I can get him on there tomorrow, perhaps the post game. So we'll see. All right. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna get out on that. I appreciate y'all letting me talk to y'all on this episode of the show. Y'all feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feeds. We in this thing. I'll be back tomorrow at 11:45 Central Time for the Saints and Detroit's matchup. We'll go through and do our regular Saints Sunday broadcast schedule. Tonight we'll be on the Pelican postgame report from our Pelican people out there. Shout out to Tasha and Big Sean as we ran down on the San Antonio Spurs, ran over them people. They on a 13-14 straight losing game or whatever, and we helped them continue to do that. Shout out to them. Also, we'll be doing the Pelican postgame report tonight. DC, Lexa, all us will be in the building. We'll open up the phone lines for the Pelicans and Bulls recap. So that'll be going on tonight. Also, we'll be on Sunday, early Sunday, we'll be going over some boxing stuff too. There's some fights going on tonight. Ryan Garcia is in action. We'll talk about some boxing news on Tough Tiger Talk as well early Sunday morning. Much love to the fam. I'm holler at you on the flip side. Peace.
Yeah. Like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elvis. I thank God every day I'm not a Falcon. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description